Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. For some reason my ears clogged. I'm all a mess. You know, but though it's alright, it's just my ears clogged and it's got one of those jobs. Crimech. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Whoa. Whoa. I know Dan Master's like, but I like this show. You know, and this one was a big one. This one was a huge episode. Huge episode. Like, monumental. It seems like next week is the final episode. At least, that's what I'm hoping. At least, I'm thinking that's what it is. Because, like I said before, I was taking a little peek at the manga. And the manga's only got like 23 chapters. Give or take. But, yeah, a lot of good shit happens. So, yeah, going forward. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to how this concludes. But, probably going to be an anime-only ending, by the looks of it. At least that's what it seems like. It seems like. So, yeah, and this one was called, let me just go get what it was called. The Forbidden Game. Forbidden Games. For the Forbidden Games. And pretty much this episode was... This was an interesting episode. Because we get to see somebody else who's a part of the group Gossip. We don't just get to see that witch girl again. We get to see we don't get to see Violet. We get to see Violet Witchy, but we also see this other guy with this optical thing in his eye. You know, one of those, thing. And they're talking about the crime edge, and Emily's good, which is called the Opener. And their second battle and so on and so forth, saying that the crime edge is probably not going to beat her and all that jazz. But yeah, the beginning of this episode pretty much was just Emily fighting a Iwa. No, I say Iwa. I apologize. Kiri and Emily fighting. And at one point, it gets kind of, he knows he's out over his head, Kiri, and he gets, but the reason I liked this episode was because the first half was pretty much him getting owned, and the second half was actually kind of a weird half. We actually, because you see, all authors have dreams of their ancestor, the person who gave them, who they inherited their good from. They have a dream of theirs, of them, whispering in their ears to kill, kill, kill. And that's pretty much what happened in this episode. It was Kiri's fight with Emily, and then his sort of so forth possession dream. Because that's what it really was. It was like he became grayland. That's the name of the one he inherited the good from, grayland. And the special ability of his weapon, Crime Edge, is the pleasure in inflicting pain on others. That's more or less the whole gist upon his ability. And we have the fight. I'll go details about the fight. The fight was pretty one-sided with Emily. He was, and then she just she threw a bunch of knives at him. And also, yeah, we find out, not a surprise, she's the one who killed Rulebook. My man. She's the one who threw those knives at him. And she does the thing to Kiri, and he gets owned. And that's when she tells him, that Grayland wasn't anyone special. Because he begins to talk about the one he got his killing good from. So Emily's basically telling him, oh, he's not anyone special, he's a nobody, he's just an ordinary criminal. And then he's at the edge of this cliff, and he falls down, and that's when we get this psychedelic dream that he has. In the dream, he sees this person ahead of him. And it's like old England kind of thing, and and have him, a person with a hoodie and a raggedy clothes, walking to this door, and he takes off the raggedy clothes, and we see Kiri, point of view of Grayland. And he goes into his room, and he's got this operating table. See what's going here? He removes the drape of the operating table, and there's a bunch of bodies. And he takes, and this is, I guess this is how he would cut up his bodies, Grayland, when he killed people. He would take the crime edge, the scissor, crime edge, and he would put it over a fire. So that way, when he got into cutting up the victims, it would be easier. You know, because it'll be hot. The metal will be hot. And he starts cutting it up, and it's just like a fucked up kind of situation, and it just goes right over Kiri's frame of mind and just messes up with his psyche, and he pretty much gets warped from this situation. This is more or less what happens to every person, except for, you know, Emily. Because she's used to it, and also, and he just gets warped from this revelation. Then after that, we have the thing with Iwa realizing she's going to leave and go to the grave site to help to stop and everything. And when they showed the bloody scenes with Grayland, they kind of cut it out a little bit, a little censorship. But the next scene, oh man, whoa, like seriously, man, that was awesome, done beautifully. And basically what it was what happened after that was we have a scene with Emily. She's coming down and she's about to burn his body and shit. She's like, my condolences, you know. And he gets up and she's like surprised and everything. And this is glee. His eyes are like red. And he takes the crime edge and he puts it in his mouth. And he cuts her. But after he cuts her, it's like this sensation of pain and the pleasure of torturing people. She thinks her arm was cut off. And there's this scene, I was like, yo, what the fuck? It was like cutting her arm off. But her arm was cut off. And then he just owned her. Pretty much just cut her there, and he ended up cutting her at all the other places. But his eyes, pretty much what happened in this scene, Kirito lost all sense of himself and became a beast, roughly. And we go back to Bonozaki sisters and that professor guy. And he's explaining to them that probably with Kiri, he is able to go ahead and enact these instincts of killing. You know. Because the author's telling them to kill, you know. The ancestor. And he's explaining that to the Bonosaki sisters. And we see Iwa. She comes to the area of the gravesite and everything. And what happens is she hears a scream, And then she sees Emily. That scene was done beautifully. One thing I have to say about Emily is this. Hey, man. Brought on to yourself. I mean, hey, that's where I look at it. Because she thought Kiri was a pushover. She didn't realize that Grayland was a vicious fuck. That Grayland was a vicious killer. And he just completely butchered people. And then she says, he's a monster, and everything. And she's crying and shit. And we have, and she asks her, Kiri did all this? Of course he did! It's so painful. And she's saying it's so painful. And I'm like, damn. That whole episode was just, whoo. But I'm probably going to give this a 4 out of 5. Yeah. 5 out of 5. I don't know if I'll go jump right into that. Seeing as I think, now I'm not sure, people, but it looks like next week's the final episode. It looks like it because according to the Anime News Network, it's 13 episodes. So, you know, but this was a great episode, 4 out of 5, like I said. And hey, it's just like that scene with Emily, and she thinks her arm's been cut off. I was like, yo, that's insane. And yeah, now I do, like I said before, I have read a bit of the manga. Nothing too extensive, but I've read a bit of it. I've read like chapter 20. 21, 22, 23. So I kind of know what happens. The preview really just showed him we see Kiri in a hospital, stuff like that. But yeah, but overall, I thought this was good. I thought it was really done well. That eerie scene with Grayland, oh man, that was fucking intense. That was really fucking intense. So yeah, that's the story, people. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So yeah, good episode of Crime Edge. We'll see how this ends next week. It's gonna be pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked for it. We'll see. I want to mention next week I got an announcement to make about something that's happening in July. It's concerning videos in 1 week in July. So look forward to that video when I do it next week, and I explain what I mean by that. So yeah, this is Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. My man Kiri, he was out for blood, big time blood. He was gonna show her a good time. With just ripping her to pieces. Yeah. See ya.